things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen. In honor of back to school, I have a poem. You might be kind of aware of this poem, but I want to read it anyway. It goes, "If you love someone, set them free. If they come back, they are yours. If they don't come back, hunt them down and hurt them." So something about back to school just makes me think about that. Now, I think it's the setting free part. I hope it's the setting free part, not the other part. The setting free, because we're in this time now. It's almost like a whole new season back to school. It's certainly a whole new retail season, but it's not just that. There's commercials and there's newspaper articles and there's emails. And do you sense this? What's up with back to school? Well, when you were a kid, was back to school this intense? Do you remember that? Can you remember that far back? I don't think it was when I was a kid. I don't remember it being quite this intense. So I went to this website. It's called Babel.com. Has anybody ever heard of Babel.com? Yeah, one person. 2 people. Okay, so it's Babel.com is a website for a new generation of parents. That's how they tag themselves. Babel.com, a new generation of parents. And in Babel.com, they have a whole guide, to back to school, like how to survive back to school. And so it's everything from like what people wear, like 10 trendy new looks for boys. That would be one back to school thing. Another back to school thing would be how to help your child with their preschool anxiety. So it goes on to that end of it. And then probably there's a bunch of others, but my favorite probably was 10 ways to make your child's first day of school amazing. Okay, so they had 10 different things you could do. You could get them temporary tattoos and just tattoo them all over. How many people did that? Okay. Then you could make them a special lunch and cut their watermelon pieces into puzzle shapes. Anybody do that? You guys are loser parents. Loser. Probably my favorite one, though, was you could wake up early, really early, and then you could make your child breakfast, and you could make them pancakes, but the pancakes had to be made in the shape of the grade your child was going into. So like if your girl's going into Anna in 6th grade, you'd have a 6. And if somebody was going into 3rd grade, you'd have a 3. You could do that. Did you do that? Okay, I didn't do that either. So we're like the loser parents. Our child's first day of school was terrible. I'm sure of it. But the thing is, there's a lot of energy around this. And I know not everybody here has children, but that energy, that back to school energy affects us all. It really does. And here's what the gospel has to say about it. The gospel kind of gets into this a bit. In the gospel, Jesus says, "Do you think I have come to bring peace? No, division. Father against son, son against father, mother against daughter, daughter against mother." Okay? There's division. There's tension. And in Luke's day, and Luke who wrote this gospel, in his day, this was a big deal. Because if someone in a family chose to follow Christ, that was going to put them in tension, generally speaking, with their family. That was going to put them in tension with their family's religion. That was going to separate them a bit. Back to school is a lot like that separation, a lot like that division. They're not exactly the same, but they're in the same family. And here's why. Okay, our spirituality and psychology tells us that there are two big forces that are at work in people all the time. Two big life forces. The first life force is this internal internal energy. It's a built-in force that moves us toward individuality. So it's this internal built-in force that pushes us toward becoming mature, whole human beings, individuals. And that's one force. And another force in our life is a togetherness force. It's just as strong, and it's the desire for emotional closeness with other people and really with all life. So one force is individuality, and the other force is togetherness. Individuality and togetherness. Now, both of these things are good, and both of these things are essential for living. Back to school and the division that Jesus is talking about, those things are about individuality. Those things are about growing up. Those things are about helping our child or those we love become full, mature human beings. And that energy creates tension in the togetherness energy. Individuality creates tension in togetherness. And so when our children go back to school, or when someone we love starts something new, that puts pressure on the togetherness. That changes it. It shifts it. You know what I mean? You ever experience that? Probably the most succinct way I heard it put was a mom whose child was going on his first day. So first day of kindergarten. And there's kind of an exquisite pain that goes with the first day. And this mom was feeling that, but this is what she said. I'm happy he's growing up and will become independent, but part of me wishes I could keep him small forever. I'm happy he's growing up and will become independent, but part of me wishes I could keep him small forever. You hear the tension? Let him grow up. Keep him small. Let him grow up. Keep him small. Let her grow up. Keep her small. That's the tension. Back to school, you see, is about letting our children go. Letting them go so that they can become big. So that they can become the independent people God is creating each one of us to be. But it does create tension. And the tension, really, it doesn't stop when our kids get older. And it doesn't stop when any of us get older. So I've got 3 back to schools this season. One, my daughter Kaylee's a senior in high school. Son Miles is in 8th grade. And those 2 back to schools, they had their own little hurts and pains and shifts because we had a summer vacation where we were together a lot. And it was a beautiful thing to be that close for that long. It was really fun. So, but as soon as we got back, it was like, poof, everybody goes their own way. And Kaylee goes to 12th grade, Miles goes to 8th. But they're coming back for dinner each night. My son Dylan now, we were packing him up yesterday to go off for his 2nd year of college. And now there's an exquisite pain that goes with college leaving as well. Because he's not coming back for dinner tonight. He's gone for a while. And as we were packing him up, it made me think of his first year of back to school, his first year of college, and how much change happened to him in that year. So for instance, and I told him I was going to say this, so this is good. I'm not breaking any confidence. He said he's a vegetarian now. He took a class, I can't remember the name of the class, but in the class they read this book called Eating Animals. Yeah. Just the name. So eating animals and taking that class got him just really thinking about it, and had the class talking about it and moving and doing, just really getting into what they were putting into their bodies and what that meant about them. And his response has been, he's going to be a vegetarian. He's not going to eat animals. Now, he was not like a convert. You ever meet a convert? Converts are wonderful, but man, they can be obnoxious, because they've had this powerful experience, so they want everybody to have this powerful experience. I'm kind of like that. I can really be obnoxious when I have a powerful experience, but he wasn't like that. He was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not putting anything on you. But it created a bit of division in our family. Every meal, you had to make a few different things. A bit of tension as he separates to find his own identity, to find more and more who God is creating him to be. That's the energy of all back to school. And back to school is a metaphor for anybody who's trying to grow up. And it happens, like I said, throughout our whole lives. And it's a wonderful thing, but it can also create a bit of tension, a bit, as the gospel says, of division. The truth is, we all know this, we all feel this. We want our children, and we want all those we love to grow up, don't we? We want them to become mature, independent individuals, don't we? But we also oftentimes want everything to stay the same, to hold them right where they are. And that creates this tension. That's life. Doesn't necessarily have to be bad, though. As usual, I think a child puts it the best. He put it the most succinct. So he's a little boy getting ready to go away to kindergarten. Once again, his first day with that exquisite pain for parents on that first day. And his mom was kind of weepy, walking around the house, just probably reminiscing. And he noticed that and watched her as she was weepy, and he went up to her and he said, "Mom, it's time for me to go back to school. It's a good thing. Really, it's good. It's good." Amen.